Welcome back to another video, tape 2.
It was wintertime, and Christmas was
yeah, we're
approaching.
playing this scary anime.
I was 25 years old, and I was going to be home with some of my friends
I'm his
who
niece's
lived on the
second
other side of the
niece.
city. It was a 4-hour
I have
drive
not
from my
made
place,
one of these
so I
videos
decided to take my own
almost in a
car
year.
instead of a
Actually, a
local cab.
year. Girl.
Almost 9
It was
months.
my first time
9
going
months, yeah.
alone on such a long
Almost a
drive,
year, so
and I felt
what about
nervous,
give it a shot again?
but excited.
And there's way
now-
more this
At
time.
midday, I packed my
Yep,
bags,
instead of just
threw
like
them in the truck,
5.
and went off to meet my friends.
Yeah.
It was a cold day, but the roads were clear. I didn't see much traffic as it was the holidays, and people would rather spend time with their families and friends indoors and stay off the roads.
What the hell is he doing?
Now, I'm not the type of person to go straight to my friend's house. I like to take my time. I'm a social media freak.
Dog,
I
you're
enjoy
off your
posting
phone.
pictures
He's
pretty much all the
ugly.
time. So I
Yeah,
found
you're
the
off your
journey an
phone.
excellent
Yeah,
excuse to
he
post
looks
some
like he's
extra
picking it.
pictures.
What the
The
hell
road
is
I
going
was
on?
taking had beautiful scenery, and the place where my friends lived was even more magical. I stopped a lot during my ride to take pictures.
Stopped a lot, you could
I
have
was
get there
having a great time by
faster.
myself.
Yeah.
Well,
Stupid.
that was until the weather suddenly changed. It was around 6 p.m., and I was still driving.
6
I
p.m.
still had a long
Because you
way
got
ahead.
stopped. You stopped a
And
lot.
that's when it started to snow.
Who cares
Not
about a
just the
little
dusting of
snow?
snow. It was thick and heavy.
Oh,
After
damn.
15 minutes or so, the roads were already covered with a few feet of snow.
That's what you should.
Felt
That's
anxious.
That's why
It was
you
getting
always
dark, and I
drive,
wasn't even halfway
except
through the drive.
from like just
My
going,
car slowed
stopping,
down,
going,
and I had to force it
stopping,
to
just
run on
keep
the exit
going.
roads.
Are you sure not got off?
The heavy snow.
Yeah, that's what I
didn't stop.
had to do. I had to stay in the
I
car just to
decided that I
go
would stop
all the
at
way
the
to
closest
Arizona.
gas station I could find. But unfortunately, I couldn't find one for a while. An hour
You have to
later,
take pictures
I finally saw
from
some
the
light
car.
shining from the
And
distance.
if you didn't have the
Are
time,
you sure
it was
not?
was a
When
gas
he's way
station.
back, you should have.
I pressed the
Yeah.
accelerator,
Because
rushed
he
to the
doesn't-
station, parked my car, and went inside quickly.
your car's gonna go.
Just as I entered, a strong snowstorm started. The gas station had a little shop tucked away with some chairs to sit on. The guy at the counter was an ordinary fellow.
He's
He
creepy.
didn't really talk much. He only asked me where I was going in such harsh weather. After that, I bought some chips and drinks and sat down in the furthest chair from him. It was night now. I sat, munched on my food, and scrolled through an Instagram.
Crunch on my food.
Then, suddenly, the shop's door opened.
Oh shit.
I looked up, and a very weird-looking man entered.
What the
He had
hell?
long, greasy hair, was wearing a long
He's
coat,
a homeless
and had a
person.
very grim
No, I
expression.
don't think so.
I saw him buy some cigarettes, and he sat down a few chairs away from me.
What the
He
hell?
didn't look at me at all. At first, I ignored him, but then he started smoking.
Smoke out there.
Since the shop was small and the smoke filled the air quickly, the shopkeeper told him to stop, but he didn't listen. He couldn't
gonna
ask him
start
to
fire.
leave because of the storm, so he didn't say anything else. I, on the other hand, hated cigarettes. The weird guy was looking down, breathing very heavily as he smoked. It was as if he was breathing in my ears. So when he took out his fifth cigarette, I lost my temper and angrily told him to stop. He looked at me
He
for a
had a
couple of
mask.
minutes. His big eyes
I
were
don't
red
think
with
so.
anger,
It looks like a
but then he
man.
smiled and
No.
stopped smoking. His smile
What the
was
hell?
unnerving. I sat down again and distracted myself on my phone.
Yeah, because
Shortly
you're looking at
afterwards,
your
my friend called
creepy
me, asking why I
Instagrams.
hadn't reached their place yet. And I told him the whole story, and he said the storm would soon be over, and I
He
should
looks
worry.
what in
When I hung up, I noticed the weird guy staring at my phone with deep interest. I was afraid that he was thinking of stealing it. But to my relief, after some time, he got up to leave.
Alright, thank
At the
you.
door, he
Yes,
stopped,
thank you.
looked back, and screamed loudly before running away, scaring the crap out of me and the shop.
Early right now too. and
He
it's
didn't
like,
return
What
after
the
that.
hell?
At
Wait, did he
10:30
make it?
p.m., the
Where's his
storm
car?
ended, and I immediately left after thanking the
Why
shop.
is he
Tried to
walk?
change
I
his
went into
lock,
my
and
car.
he had
How?
started-
Wait, what
Damn.
if you got inside of that
For
guy's
some time, I
car?
drove in
Okay,
silence,
you could go
but
outside
then
and
Holy
drink.
crap!
I heard a
no.
noise.
Well, he tried to change
It
the
sounded
lock
like
while
heavy
he was
She
breathing.
going.
actually did. Sounds like
My heart
Jason.
rate shot up and my hands got all
It was
sweaty
like
as
a
the breathing
original,
sounded so
and it
familiar.
What does that like
inside,
that?
So
it
close.
stuck. You couldn't open it.
I looked through my
So he
rearview
pulled that
mirror
one off
and
they tried to
screamed.
put another one on, but
The weird guy from the
slot's too
shop
small.
was sitting in my
And they
back
have to
seat,
go
hell?
smiling at
bigger.
me. I
So
pressed
they
the
couldn't
brakes
do it, so
very
they turned
hard,
off on the
got
way.
out of the car, and
That's why
started
I'm
running.
here.
I felt him running after me too,
Yeah,
yelling
it's
at the
open,
top of
like-
his lungs.
There's
The
his
room
hands.
was
Yeah,
empty,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
felt hopeless as I
He
knew
wants
he
to
was
kill
That's
faster
me
than me.
nice.
He wants to
I only
kill
looked
him
back
because
once to see him
he
running
said
like an
him-
unnatural being,
he yelled at
holding
him
a knife in
and
his hand.
screamed
I
and told him
increased
to
my
not
pace,
smoke.
still wondering how on earth
He
he
got
got
mad.
inside my car.
So since his house
I
can't
might have
close
forgotten
that,
to lock the
that's why
door
I'm
when I
there.
first
But
left
they
to
made
go
me
to the
lock
gas
it, they
station.
had to do that lock.
But now, it was too late for regret. My life was at risk because some psychopath was after me.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
what
saw
he
some
freaking
headlights at a
did.
When I
distance.
get back, I'm gonna make him.
I started waving my hands like a maniac, screaming for them to stop. They did, and it turned out to be my friend. He had come to pick me up as he was worried since I was pretty late and thought something went wrong. I looked back, and I saw that guy was gone.
I
got inside my friend's car and told him everything.
Want to touch it.
He called the cops, and they arrived shortly after.
Yeah.
We all went to my car first and noticed some marks made by a knife in the back seat. The cops couldn't find the guy anywhere. After some investigation, they let us leave. I drove my car and my friend drove his car back to his place. The cops never found the guy. And to this day, I still wonder what would have happened if my friend didn't turn up that night.
Dang, the murder in front of my house walls.
I was 12 years old when this happened.
Is it the same guy?
My grandmother just got home
I
from the
got no
hospital
clue,
because she had a
boys.
stroke.
These days they sound the
We couldn't go up to
same.
the second floor of our house in which her room was located.
But it kind of
So
looks
my
like the
uncle,
same dude.
my little brother, and I decided that we were going to sleep in her room for a while.
Alright.
Before this day happened, my aunt bought a new air conditioner, so the old one would be removed. And of course, there was a
That's
hole in the
long.
wall for the air conditioner.
Oh,
I covered the hole with some kind of small box before working on the wall, so the air wouldn't come in. Anyway, back to the situation.
he has his
My
phone.
uncle and I were
That
playing
sounds
a
like
mobile
me
game
on my
at 3 a.m. when
PS4
this
probably.
happened.
Yeah, that's
How
We
what
was
played
on
for about
my
an hour or
phone?
so until my little brother had
I
fallen asleep.
played
While I
like
was paying
PS4 like
attention, I
24/7.
suddenly heard a small scratching
I
sound
can make
coming
a
from the
full
hole on the
video of
wall
me
where I
just-
covered it with a box.
What would I do for a living?
Its sound was like someone trying to remove it with something. However, I just ignored it at first, because I thought it might be a cat trying to remove the cover. After 5
Jump
minutes, my
in.
uncle heard the sound, and he whispered in my ear saying, "Did you hear that
Oh
sound?"
my god.
I said, "Yeah, I heard it too. But maybe it's just a cat. Forget about it." After that, we had forgotten about the sound, and we just played again. Until that moment. All of a sudden, my uncle quickly put down his cell phone and started to search with the flashlight. "What's wrong?" I asked him, but he pointed his finger on his mouth and pointed it to the window.
Yeah, everybody.
It was quiet outside.
Out there yesterday.
That's
Out
weird.
there today.
I heard someone's footsteps.
All right,
He talked to
take
me
this
sitting
one.
back next to me.
All right, love you.
I tried to say that it's nothing,
Eat some more.
but this time I heard those footsteps.
Wait.
Someone was
Jake, let me
outside
see your
walking
phone.
around with a
Let me
creaking
see your
sound.
phone.
So we eventually decided to look for it,
Jake,
opening the
Alright
box
guys, that's an
cover.
end of the video.
let me see your